5 years ago, a woman's age was the square of her son's age. 10 years hence, her age will be twice of her son's age. Find the age of the son 5 years ago, the present age of the woman. Right? So, we're starting off this question by talking about the relation between the ages of a woman and a son 5 years ago. So, let's consider that scenario first, right? The 5 years ago scenario. Now, they've told us that the woman's age was the square of her son's age, and we want to find the age of the son 5 years ago as well. So generally, what comes later in the sentence, the object which comes later in the sentence, like in this case over here, the woman's age was the square of her son's age. Now the son's age is being spoken of, is appearing later in the sentence. So we'll consider that to be x, right? So 5 years ago, I can say let son's age equal to x years, right? And the woman's age is a square of a son's age, so therefore the woman's age will be equal to x square years, right? Now all of this was happening 5 years ago, so if I want to consider the present time, right, in the present, the son's age will be is going to be, so 5 years ago it was x, so the present age will be x plus 5 years, right? And the woman's age 5 years ago it was x squared, so now it will be x squared plus 5 years, right? Now there's a third scenario. So this was the age 5 years ago, the present age, and now we're talking about the age 10 years hence, so 10 years in the future. So 10 years hence, right? So let's consider that scenario as well. 10 years hence. Okay, so 10 years hence, the son's age will be an additional 10 to x plus 5. So it's already x plus 5. And to that, we are adding an additional 10 years. That gives it a total of x plus 15 years, right? And same way for the woman's age. We know the present age to be x plus 5, and to that we are adding an additional 10, which makes it x square plus 15 years, right? Now if you read the question carefully, and so 10 years hence, her age will be twice of her son's age, right? So what they have done here is basically they've given you a relation between the two ages after 10 years. They've given us a relation between these two ages, right? After 10 years that there's there. So what they've told us is that 10 years hence, the woman's age, right, the woman's age is equal to twice her son's age, right? This is what they've given us in words. So let's write it down in mathematical statement. So the woman's age we know to be x squared plus 15, right? And twice means 2 times or 2 into. Son's age we know is x plus 15. Let's expand this one. We have x squared plus 15 is equal to 2x plus 30. Now if I am to rearrange the equation so that I get a quadratic, it's already a quadratic. Now I want to rearrange it to get a quadratic in the standard form, right, in my general form. So that becomes x squared plus 2x on the left hand side will become minus 2x, and it's plus 15 plus 30 on this side. Plus 15 minus 30 makes it minus 15, and this is equal to 0. So I have x squared minus 2x minus 15 equal to 0. This is my quadratic equation which I need to solve. The product for this quadratic equation, I'm going to solve it by splitting the middle term, is 1 into minus 15, so that's negative 15 is my product. So I want two numbers multiplied giving me negative 15, and on adding them, the sum of the two numbers should be negative 2. Right, so two numbers multiplied gives me minus 15 and added gives me minus 2. Those two numbers will be minus 5 into 3, minus 5 and 3. Right, so minus 5 into 3 will give me minus 15. Negative 5 into 3 is negative 15, and negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. That's just how I'm going to split the terms. So x squared minus 5x plus 3x minus 15 is equal to 0. So let's continue by factorizing the terms now. So between the first two terms, if you notice, I can take the x common. So I'll be left with x minus 5 in the bracket. Between the third and the fourth term, there's a plus 3 which is common, and I'll be left with an x minus 5 in the bracket. All of this together is equal to 0. Therefore, if you see now, x minus 5 and x minus 5 are together, it's the same term, so it can be taken out as common, and I'll be left with an x plus 3 here now, and this is equal to 0. Okay, so now time for the zero product rule. Two numbers multiplied gives me 0, so either the first number, which is x minus 5, is equal to 0, or the second term, which is x plus 3, is equal to 0. Now we are about to get the answer now. So if I solve this first part here, I get the value of x as 5, or if I solve this here, I get the value of x as negative 3. Right. Now, a question you could ask yourself is, are both these answers valid? In our experience, generally one of them is invalid. And what does x actually describe? So the age of the sun 5 years ago was x years, right? Now the age, anyone's age can never be negative. You can never be minus 3 years old, right? So since age cannot be negative, since age cannot be negative, right? X is equal to minus 3 is rejected. Yeah, so I get my value for x. I can say therefore the final value for x is 5. Now, that we found the value of x, but what are the answers that we need to find? The first thing they want to ask us, the first thing that we want to find is the age of the sun 5 years ago. This is nothing but x as we've taken so far, so we have that value already. And the present age of the woman. If you remember, the present age of the woman, the age of the sun 5 years ago, is this value which we found. The present age of the woman is x squared plus 5, so you want to find that value as well. Present age of the woman is x squared plus 5, so x is equal to 5, and by that I know x squared plus 5 will be equal to 5 squared plus 5. Now 5 squared is 25, 25 plus 5 is 30, so x squared plus 5 is 30. Alright, so I have both the required answers. The answer to the first part, which is the age of the sun 5 years ago. Right, so age of the sun 5 years ago, 5 years ago is 5 years. 5 years ago is 5 years. And the answer to the second part, which was present age of the woman, present age of the woman is x squared plus 5, which we found to be 30 years, right? So this is my final answer, which I will put in my final answer rectangle. Yep, here we go.